It's a warm Friday night in the Isuzu UTE A-League Men's, and Macarthur set to host Perth Glory at Campbelltown Stadium. A big night for the Bulls home faithful. They can see their team move level with top spot on points. Maybe if they get an extraordinary win, maybe top on goal difference. As for the travelling Glory, they just need consecutive wins in order to close the gap to the top 6 places. It was the late show when Perth played last weekend. They'll be hoping to parlay that momentum into tonight. The Isuzu UTE Tunnel Cam shows the two teams. Perth have been to Campbelltown Stadium once already this season, and they were victorious the very first time that their men's team had actually won a game at this venue in their club's history. So recent happy memories of November the 30th, when goals from Pennington and also Charbel Shamoun were able to take all 3 points. Macarthur since then, though, have been in largely excellent form. They did drop their bundle at home to Sydney FC with a 3-0 defeat a couple of weeks ago, but they have bounced back to strong form since then. And with AFC Champions League 2 commitments about to interrupt their midweeks in the very near future, they'll be hoping to bank as many points as they can in the Isuzu UTE A-League, especially with a game like tonight's. So both teams out of the tunnel onto what has been an excellent surface at Campbelltown Stadium, and as you can see, the supercomputer definitely likes Macarthur tonight in spite of the most recent head-to-head result. Macarthur leads this matchup 7 wins to Perth's 3, with 3 draws over a short history. Scott Wooden wearing the captain's armband for Perth, but we start with Macarthur's team lineup, where there has been one change to the team that drew 1-1 away with Adelaide United a week ago, and that is Luke Bratton, the super veteran, into the starting 11, moving the younger Dean Bosniak to the bench, while Zane Helway drops out of Mile Stajovski's matchday squad. And you see in the lineup there, Shime Grosjean continues to hold on to his starting place. He's closing in on 1,000 minutes without an A-League goal now. Tonight will be appearance number 13. He has been able to score twice in the ACL too, so maybe he's looking forward to seeing Bangkok United on the fixture. But an A-League goal would be perfectly timed if the Croat can find one tonight. Let's take a look at the Perth Glory lineup. 3 changes to the team that produced a 2-1 win against Auckland last Saturday. Rhys Bozanovski has now been sold to Heracles Amelo in the Dutch Eredivisie. Also out, Adam Taggart with a glute, and a swap of backup keepers. Mark Birighitti is on the bench for the first time this season, with Ryan Warner making way. Arian Suleimani, Seb Despotovski and Giovanni Diabru into the starting 11. And Arian Suleimani gets another start tonight. He's yet to play a full 90 in the A-League so far, and he has been used largely as a super sub or a player expected to run himself into the ground and then make way for the Glory. He certainly had some good chances to break his A-League duck as well. The Victorian, who has moved west, will be hoping that maybe tonight is the night, with a bit of faith shown in him in the absence of Adam Taggart. Mile Stajovski, always a cool customer in the dugout, and will be acutely aware that his team hasn't fared too well when Champions League games force his A-League team to play on a short turnaround, so they will be looking to make the most of a 7-day break. Adam Griffiths, he's always got something special lined up. No Adam Taggart tonight, will be a unique challenge for him, but they didn't need Taggart on the score sheet last time they came to Campbelltown and were victorious. Tonight's referee is Ali Reza Fagani, assistants are George Lacrindis and Andrew Lindsay, and the 4th official is Matt Staples. And in the VAR booth, should a second pair of eyes be required, awaits Tim Danaskos and Sam Kelly. Will Freeney, an important part of the midfield now, with no more Rhys Bozanovski, and he's got the 18-year-old Giovanni Diabru next to him in that midfield partnership. So Glory with a bit of youth on their side. Macarthur, the most senior team in the league, and at the opposite end of the experience scale, Luke Bratton, about to play A-League match 319. Would you believe the 36th time he's lined up against the Perth Glory? And there's Giovanni Diabru. He is a real ball of energy in midfield. It's going to be Perth Glory kicking off, attacking the right of your screens with Tom Lawrence, the former Wales international, to get us underway. A double bill on your Friday night. Melbourne Victory already victorious this evening. Let's see what happens as Macarthur takes on Perth Glory in round 16 of the Isuzu UTE A-League Men's. And as we see an emphatic clearance from the centre of defence by Thomas Love-Uscock, I welcome Daniel McBreen to the broadcast. Macca, good evening.
Good evening, Teo. Shapes up for a good night of football. As you said, one match already down, another here. I spoke to Adam Griffiths before the game. He said they just need a bit of consistency. They have been consistently competitive since he's been in charge. Their last 6 games just losing by the odd goal. But they need that consistency to be turned into points. They need to start moving up that table. He's got a few players now starting to come back from injury. A little bit more depth there to call on. Although Adam Taggart tonight, not here. Slight glute tear. Didn't make the trip. What can be said for Macarthur? Well, they can go equal top.
It is going to be interesting to see if it is a contrast of speed versus seniority in this match tonight. Walter Scott taking the throw in here. Quick 1-2 with Bratton. A long ball looking for the Socceroos hopeful, Mitch Duke. Still early days on his return to the A-League, but he's already got 1 goal under the belt. Duke blocked away by Brian Kaltak, who I'm sure will be marking him in the majority of situations tonight, handing back and forth with his fellow centre-back Scott Wootton. And good hustle from the Glory to win themselves a throw-in. So Sharbel Shamoon, who scored his one and only A-League goal back on the 30th of November at this venue. Ali Reza Fagani giving Tom Lawrence a telling off in the first 2 minutes. We'll come to you at the next break and play to get your thoughts on Ali Reza's game management techniques, Macca. Right now the ball is on the head of Luke Bratton. Duke, was he tunnelled? No free kick. A heavy landing though for the Macarthur striker. And then Uscock waiting for Suleimani to engage. Ooh, a high boot from Walter Scott, and the assistant referee is flagging, but well, a busy Ali Reza Fagani already in the first 2.5 minutes.
Well, Tom Lawrence sticking the head in there, just getting the boot studs scraped across the face. It's something we've seen a lot from Ali Reza Fagani, isn't it? Chatting to players, doesn't like to talk.
Shimek Najan lifts it across, and a comfortable enough claim for Matt Sutton between the sticks.
Well, it was a poor cross, wasn't it? He had plenty of time. He had plenty of runners in the central areas as well. He just couldn't get his foot around it.
Well, would you believe it? The referee, Ali Reza Fagani, has said Sutton has held onto the ball for 8 seconds, and it's going to be a corner kick. I do not recall having seen this new FIFA rule being paid yet this A-League men's season.
I think it is the first. Well, you said he was getting involved early, stamping his mark and his authority on the game.
And a few confused fans home and away inside the venue. The corner is taken, and Lawrence is going to ensure that it doesn't cost the Glory. In fact, it might turn into a full field counter-attack if they can execute here. The cross is onto the shoulder of Rose. Despotovsky at the edge of the box, pulled the shot and won't get the chance at a follow-up as Bratton clears.
Well, there's a real opportunity there for Perth Glory. At one stage it was 4 against 2. And the extra touch in that wide area just allowed the Macarthur players to get back in numbers.
Suleimani leading the line. Despotovsky playing just off him. Over to the right. Tough pass for Shamoon to bring under control. Scott and Duke. And the ball did creep over the line. Shamoon. Suleimani. Despotovsky untangles himself from Bratton. And now Suleimani trying to find a path beyond Walter Scott. Shamoon in support, but the end result is a Macarthur throw. Adam Griffiths offering some instruction positionally for the defence of this throw-in as Perth try to catch Macarthur in the defensive half, and a little wrap on the ankles means it's a free kick going the way of Rose.
Well, plenty of energy from both teams in the press early in the match. Not allowing the time and space, just a little clip of the ankle there.
Damien De Silva at the centre of Macarthur's defence. Rose showing no ill effects of the knock a moment ago. Grosjean. Scott in plenty of space. Sends it wide. Grosjean sees Perth Glory moving their defensive unit across. Busy network of passes, but Macarthur being ushered backwards, and then the tenacity of Diabru, so important. Whenever he's within the vicinity of the ball, he loves physicality and he loves to engage.
Yeah, I had a chat to Adam Griffiths about him as well. He's Bozanovski leaving. He said they see him as a real terrier in that midfield. Good on the ball as well, but gets stuck in for everything.
And one thing he does do is he often comes up with the reducer. So Caceres, we haven't seen him in possession much yet tonight, but watch for that first time when he's in possession and Diabru is in his vicinity. He loves to let the creative players know that he's there. Right now, Macarthur have favoured a wide approach to this game so far. Duke heads it down. Grosjean able to seize on it. Tried to shrug at Freeney, couldn't do so. However, the clearance from Caltac only as far as Bratton. Rose with Scott getting forward. Early ball, Grosjean. Sees Callum Talbot in space. Talbot, well, overhit cross you'd have to say, and a rueful shake of the head to go with it.
Well, you would have to say over the bar. There's 4 Macarthur players inside the penalty area. That's 2 times now that Macarthur have got the ball into good positions out wide. One on the left, one on the right. And that final product has to be better.
Sutton can take his time here over a goal kick. No 8-second rule, purely the referee's discretion. It's when the ball's in your hands, live in play, that new law applies. Bratton. Scott been busy in these early exchanges. Duke.
This way!
Of course, Jidong Won has been out for almost 2 months now, injured. Mitch Duke arriving at the perfect time in the transfer window, keeping Harry Sawyer on the bench. Very established target man, the Socceroo. Uskok trusted his technique to thread it through a gap and send Talbot away. Luke Vickery went for a sprint down the wing. Talbot decided not to send him. And a bit of a crowd killer, that one. A couple of younger fans making sure the ball wasn't coming straight for them after it was deflected out there by Pennington. Scott. Oh, the pass back to Caceres made him work. We're almost 10 minutes in, Macca. What do you make of Macarthur's extremely wide approach? Almost like they're reticent to play it to Rose and Caceres in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, there's been a couple of times where Callum Talbot has had the ball with Vickery wide, 1v1 position. I would be giving it to him. We saw last week what he can do. His confidence is up. They're trying to give him the ball. He's again asking for it there again in that wide area. They're trying to get it to him early and say, go on, you're confident, take him on.
Walter Scott gesticulating to Philip Curto, his goalkeeper, saying, play me. Curto makes him backtrack for this header. Shamoun, Caceres, and now Uskok. Grosjean is going to seize onto a bouncing ball and try to sprint until it's under his control, and he does very nicely. Whips it across, and it bounces wide. A late run from Vickery, not able to connect.
Well, that was neat play, wasn't it? Shimmy Grazan didn't quite get his angles right earlier on, but this was neat play. Comes back on into his right foot, and that's a nice ball into a good area. Mitch Duke maybe just a little too early into his area. And Vickery at the back post just couldn't quite get there. Split the two, but it was a decent ball in.
Little thumbs up from Vickery. 3 goals this season in the A-League for him. Pennington, flick header on, or Macarthur, Uscock, Talbot. Duke with plenty to do. It's Wooten's turn to mark him on this phase of play. Vickery got half a yard and then drove the cross straight to Scott Wooten, who sends it out for a throw. Vickery goes to work again. And it's going to be a corner kick. So a very tall Macarthur team going to take on the likes of Scott Wooten and Brian Kaltak in the air at a set piece.
Well, they've had plenty of the possession, haven't they, early, Macarthur, in this match. Over 70%. They need to get some final output. It was a great opportunity.
Kaltak is standing solo at the near post for now rather than man marking. He's left that to a number of his teammates, as you can see there in the area. Caceres, a driven corner, and no one home for Macarthur at the far post. Freeney, Diabru. Oh, the pass just a little bit under hit. And now Caceres blocked away. A low drive. And Perth perhaps get away with one there because he was free as a bird at the top of the box. Now the Glory trying to play out. Freeney leaves it with Sam Sutton. Now Wooten back to his goalkeeper, Matt Sutton. No relation to Sam, just a namesake. And here's Kaltak. And now the Sutton link-up is on, and Sam is striving and then made sure that Talbot knew he was there as the ball ricochets out. Macarthur throw in.
Well, he did quite well to pull that down, didn't he, at full stretch. Kellen Talbot ready and waiting.
Well, Macarthur will feel like they're slowly but surely working through the gears here. They are dominating possession. Flicketed by Duke, Kaltak, Diabru, and now Pennington. Early ball, Suleimani, a cause to go and chase. And the 38-year-old Damien De Silva able to get limber and put the ball out for a throw, which Glory take quickly. Pennington. Sam Sutton. See Matt Sutton, the goalkeeper, roaming outside of his penalty area. Mark Birighitti is back tonight as his understudy. He's been out since the final week of pre-season with a knee injury. Tom Lawrence hits up Shamoon. Shamoon looking for Suleimani, but in stepped Uscock. Anticipated the pass. Sends it wide to Vickery, who is going to be able to spin and try to evade the eagerness of Pennington. Now here goes Caceres on the right. Sam Sutton got up the pitch, so there might be a gap to exploit here. Mitch Duke dragging Kaltak wide. Caceres. And now Rose, Bratton. Walter Scott. And Grosjean. Grosjean's cross in, and Duke, he is an expert at finding an angle for a flick header where few others would even think it's on. That one, well wide.
Well, that's the danger with Mitch Duke just lurking. You see, he just holds his run, and he's looking just to flick that on into that far post area. It's another decent cross from Shimmy Grazan. Just couldn't quite find the angle, but he's always an ever-present danger, Mitch Duke, in that penalty box area.
He's got a record of 4 goals in what is now 15 games against the Glory in his career. Mitch Duke, the first one in his Mariners days, all the way back in November 2013. And he was a youngster breaking through. Here goes Grosjean. He looks up for tonight. The cut back here, nearly an own goal. It goes the right side of the stick as far as Brian Kaltak is concerned. And Grosjean is down and hurt with an ankle problem in the aftermath.
Luke Bratton asking that there was maybe contact, but as the ball got knocked through there, you see Sutton, he starts to come and then says, well, no, I can't get there. And on the stretch, Brian Kaltak just turns it back, hits Sutton, and it goes out for a corner. And you see, yeah, I think that is a late challenge. The lunging challenge here. Just have a look, Diabru here as he comes in, lunges in, does catch the ankle. Is there enough there? Not too sure.
Shimei Grosjean able to get up under his own steam, but he does so protesting here. The VAR booth of Tim Danaskos and Sam Kelly don't appear to be intervening, and so as the corner is taken, they've ticked it off. Wooten's up and under, then Lawrence, Talbot, Callum Talbot. It is game number 108 of his A-League career tonight, and I reckon Adam DePuzzo, sitting on the league record of most games without a goal, he's cheering Callum on every week.
And what's DePuzzo's number?
It's in the 150s.
Oh, so we've got a long way to go.
Long. See, Liam Rose was the other one. He got into the 120s, I believe, before his first goal, which was, funnily enough, earlier this season.
And it was a belter to get off the donut. That was a optimistic one from Callum Talbot. A couple of plays still central. Maybe could have just helped the ball back central areas, see where it fell.
Not to harp on it because VAR did tick it off, but should they have taken at least a closer look at this? Seemed to come and go with barely a ripple.
Well, I think once I saw the replay, I think there was less contact than I actually thought there was originally. And as we all would like, VAR to stay out as much as possible.
Glory trying to untangle themselves here. Kaltak, the giveaway, but short-lived for Bratton, and Despotovsky can capitalise. And now the Glory have numbers streaming forward. Seb Despotovsky. Did Bratton tap his ankles? He did. Free kick in prime shooting territory.
Well, it's a yellow card, surely. It's a clear foul, professional foul. He does well here, Despotovsky. Breaks free, he's having a look. They do have the numbers, and as Bratton gets back, he cuts across him, and Bratton knows that he's going to be outnumbered. He just lashes out and kicks him. How is that not a yellow card? He's stopping the play with a professional foul.
Well, if you can lip read, that's the explanation that Seb Despotovsky got. Scott Wooten continues to argue here.
I'm with him 100%. I'm with 100%. Luke Bratton was going for nothing but the ball, nowhere near the ball.
So, can Perth make it a moot point from the resulting free kick? Tom Lawrence off a short run up, and Curto is down sharply. It's out for a corner kick. It's been 5 games since Philip Curto's last clean sheet, but he's made a good save here.
Well, he hit it pretty well, Lawrence. It's one that Curto got away with ease, player of his calibre.
Packed 6-yard box. Lawrence with the in-swinging corner onto the head of Grosjean, and now away by Bratton. Diabru slices the ball back in. De Silva only as far as Kaltak, off the standing leg of Despotovsky after a big fresh air swing. And now clipped in by Lawrence. Kaltak, he has an amazing leap, and he actually generated quite a bit of power on that header.
He's left 2 Macarthur players in his wake. He has a knack of getting on the end of those ones. As you said, his leap is fantastic. He just needs to get one to go into the back of the net.
Tonight is game number 97 of Brian Kaltak's A-League career, and he has only scored the 3 times. Well over a year since his last goal, November 2024. So, for a player of his prowess in the air, you would think there might be more headed goals. Speaking of aerial duels, here he is now, just reading it ever so slightly better than Mitch Duke, but Sutton still had to come out of his penalty area to clear. Suleimani initiates the press along with Lawrence. That's going to give De Silva the hurry up. He breaks wide. Duke over the shoulder. Bit of a blind pass though. Was hoping more than expecting that he would find Vickery. Diabru. Pennington watched the ball bounce, and that was just enough of an opportunity for De Silva to come in and knock it away. Lawrence. Talbot, well positioned. Scott. Shamoon made it awkward, but Macarthur do win the throw. And Walter Scott is going to nick potentially 10 metres here from the spot where the ball went out. Duke, the flick this time, finds Grosjean, but he can't link up with Caceres. Despotovsky's pass, intercepted by Bratton. Bratton switches flanks over to Vickery. Look at Talbot motoring around the outside. Vickery checks his run, and then Pennington, and also Sam Sutton. Look at the burst of acceleration here. He's almost too quick for his teammates. He's going to have to go solo here, Sam Sutton. And he decides to fire off at the end of that dash. And it's comfortably held by Curto.
Well, you said it, Teo. He's too quick for his teammates. It was the only option he had in the end. Try the speculative one from the edge of the box. He left everyone in his wake there.
See 10 shots total already. None of them having troubled the scorer, but Perth with the only 3 on target. Duke. Oh, that one right at his midriff. Really difficult to control. Diabru spins away from Caceres. Now Wooden. Despotovsky. Shamoon. Oh, ran out of space against the line. Bratton. Now Caceres, the return ball. Bratton cuts it back and out off the left foot of Vickery.
Well, it was neat football from Macarthur on this near touchline. See here, a little 1-2 in behind Bratton, and then he just cuts back. And you've got to give a little bit of credit to Sutton and Pennington for getting across to put Vickery under pressure, but he'll be disappointed with that finish.
So as Matt Sutton steps out his goal kick routine, let's throw it down to ground level. Kat Haddad, good evening.
Good evening, lads. Now, it's pretty muggy out here in Campbelltown, but it hasn't stopped the spectators from joining us tonight, being rewarded by a beautiful sunset that is setting in right now. But a lot of activity from Macarthur, especially on this side that I'm on, the sideline. They've been coming down this left side. Over 55% of their activity has been on this side, so that explains why there's so much going on for the spectators right now, which is awesome. But 4 shots, 0 on target for Macarthur, whereas Perth have 6 shots and 2 on target. So there is most definitely a goal cooking in this game.
Thanks, Kat. We'll keep checking in as we see Suleimani trapped offside there.
It's interesting to see that stat. 59% down the left-hand side for Macarthur. When you look at Vickery last week against Adelaide and how influential he was. There's plenty of talk during the week, wasn't there, about a certain Ryan Fraser only getting 20 touches in the match, scores after 41 seconds and then hardly saw the ball. Well, and I'm sure Mile Sturjoska will be looking at his team and saying, well, the young man's very confident. Let's get him out there, get the ball to him, and let's see what he can do.
I do wonder, as we approach the half-hour mark, whether they might be thinking about a winger swap. They've been very malleable with their forward line this season, Macarthur. I mentioned Harry Sawyer on the bench tonight, Ji Dong Won, who's out injured now, but did start the season. Chris Economidis back on the bench, and Rafa Duran has been in the mix as well. So they've not been afraid to mix it up. They haven't really remained committed to any one combination of attackers so far this season, the Bulls. Here's a burst of speed from Rose. Duke. Oh, the flick almost too hot to handle there for Talbot. He is able to retrieve the ball, and here is Vickery. Sizes up Sutton, jags inside, and that's where he sees Freeney. So back he goes to Talbot. Now Rose over to the wing to help out. Here's Caceres. Back to De Silva. Oh, Tom Lawrence and Luke Bratton getting into a little bit of a shove. They quickly separate, get their focus back on the action, but Lawrence is a known agitator. He loves to wind opponents up. So often he does it with a smile on his face too. Here's Vickery, all focus on defending for now for the Glory. Rose leaves the ball with Caceres, and Diabru right on his case. He is Caceres' shadow at times tonight.
Well, they've done well already tonight. Diabru and Freeney of marshalling any wingers or midfielders that come into their space. They're quick on their toes, in their face, forcing them to go backwards.
Scott. Duke trying to bring the ball down to the advantage of Grajan, but there you go, Mac. A case in point. Will Freeney comes in to intercept the pass.
Which goes to your question earlier, Teo. Macarthur reticent to go through those middle areas. Well, maybe they've done a little bit of research and looked and said, well, those two guys there, they're doing a lot of work in marshalling in front of their defensive four. Maybe it's better to go around them.
Does feel like an arm wrestle and also a bit of a battle of wills in the tactical game as to who's going to drop their concentration or break from the game plan first here. Here's Freeney on the ball, Caltac. And now Vickery charging in on Diabru, looking for a weak link as Perth play out from the back. Diabru holds off the challenge and now bursts away, puts his head down and forges forward. And the offside flag for Despotovsky puts a halt to that attack from the Glory.
Well, it was a good bustling run from Diabru on that occasion, but they have space in that midfield area. When Macarthur press with their midfield, they commit their midfielders to one side, and there's always a little pocket of space on the opposite attacking midfield area, 10 position as you like. We've seen Tom Lawrence drop in there, Pennington at times. If they can hold their position in that area and find them, there'll be space for them to break forward. We saw it happen earlier in the first couple of minutes. Pennington got on the ball and switched the play, and it was dangerous for Macarthur.
Well, we've talked at length about the Macarthur protagonists not quite as prominently involved, but Pennington's one of the players for Perth that we haven't seen much of. And of course, Tom Lawrence, one of the most influential players in the league in possession. And look at this, here are the two of them right now linking up in a beautiful little triangle. And then the commentators curse. I apologise, Glory fans, as Pennington puts that one out.
I just gave him the way through, Teo, and you've just jinxed it. Well, that was exactly what I was talking about. Luke Bratton has to make a decision. Does he come to the near side or does he stay to the other? And sometimes he's caught in the middle, and then Perth can make their decision.
So we tick up to the half-hour mark, goalless. Can one of these two teams start to exert their will on the contest? We've seen Macarthur be dominant as far as some of the numbers, but certainly not the general feeling of the game as to one team or the other being on top. Pennington, pass between the lines. Lawrence really made it work, and then a veering run. Tried one touch too many. Rose got a hustle here against Pennington, stood his ground well. Switch over to Grosjean, into the middle for Caceres. A few gaps opening for Macarthur here, a rarity so far tonight. And Shamoon immediately closes down Scott.
Well, he did well there, Shamoon. That was a typical Anthony Caceres run. He gives the ball and then runs in behind the fullback. Probably got the better of his man, so Shamoon had to make the interception.
When we're going, you've got to go with intensity, and everyone knows. Watch your six behind you.
Eavesdropping there on Adam Griffith's instructions to Arian Suleimani. De Silva back in familiar territory in this half. And the right flank is where he goes. Buscon. Caceres. See Freeney come across and usher him back to Bratton, but out to the right. Vickery. Talbot doubles back. And still almost running backwards here with Wooten following him, and it will be a Macarthur throw-in.
As much as we've praised the midfield duo as well, they've done very well in those wide areas, haven't they? Just to repel any Macarthur attack. There's a couple of early crosses, but since then, they've been giving nothing away, Perth.
Oh, big body check there. Lawrence braced for impact, and Luke Bratton, he was very fortunate to avoid a yellow card earlier in the night. And the home Macarthur fans don't like the fact that he's seeing yellow now.
Well, Luke Bratton's argument here is, what am I supposed to do? And the problem is for him is that Tom Lawrence has nicked the ball around him, and then all of a sudden it's a late challenge.
And in true Tom Lawrence fashion, the little ruffle of the hair as he got up.
Well, Bratz is going to argue his case to say, look, I was a split second late, but I can't get out of the way. I can't magically move myself out of the way. Well, Reza Fagani's saying, well, you impeded his run forward.
So it is the first yellow card either way in this game, arriving in the 33rd minute. Bratton's still in conversation with Ali Reza Fagani, but he's wearing the captain's armband, so he is slightly more entitled to do so than 20 of the other players on the pitch. It's De Silva, back to Curto. Both players have a nibble at a header. Rose, Wooten, Lawrence, almost around Talbot. Not sure his intention was to play it to himself, but he very nearly dragged it to his own advantage, but Macarthur are now heading the other way. In the end, Pennington, the player giving away the free kick. After a few false starts, Luke Bratton eventually strikes the free kick. Kaltak leaping all over Duke. Shamoon. Scott. Sprinting forward. Grosjean has Caceres. Duke back up and running ahead of the ball. Caceres wants Rose. And Grosjean. Switching flanks over to Talbot. And underhits the pass, but rather than a giveaway to Pennington, it's a giveaway for a throw.
Stay up, Luke, stay up!
Freeney to Shamoon. He's got Despotovsky to his right, free as a bird. Shamoon didn't play the pass in the end. Keeps the ball and now uses Despotovsky, but the Macarthur defence is set behind the ball. Freeney whips it in. Good defensive header, but it's an up and under. De Silva, Diabru, Pennington. Snapshot round the corner, and it's found a way in. Nicholas Pennington gives Perth Glory the lead, and it's a moment to forget for Philip Curto in goal. Pennington won't care. It's consecutive trips to Campbelltown Stadium, where he has found the back of the net. 1-0 to the Glory.
Well, it's the old saying, if you don't pull the trigger, you don't have a chance to score. On the Harvey Norman replay, it wasn't a bad ball in, but as it comes back out, it's Pennington who reacts quickest, and he doesn't really catch it at all. And Philip Curto has an absolute nightmare, just totally misjudges it and fumbles into his own net. And I don't think Pennington could hardly believe his eyes. But as you said, Teo, he will not care.
And so Nicholas Pennington, who has been a surprise regular contributor of goals for the Glory this season, as you can see there, 4 in 14. He only had 3 in 82 prior to the start of the season. So Curto, the second in 3 games, I believe, where maybe he is considered culpable. He's been an amazing long-term servant of Macarthur in the A-League in general, but the home team find themselves behind.
Even telling even more is that we talk about Macarthur having more possession. They haven't had a shot on target yet. That was Perth Glory's 4th.
So a big final 8 minutes plus stoppage for the home side. Can they find an equaliser before the break? Caceres, Talbot is going to cross from deep, and it flashes through the penalty area. Just enough from Kaltak there to put his body in the way of where Mitch Duke really wanted to run.
But again, he's a danger, isn't he? That's a great ball in. He's just a little too far forward and tries to check his run and can't quite stretch the neck muscles enough. And that's been a great battle tonight. Duke and Kaltak.
Luke Bratton applauding and trying to gee up his team in midfield. I was literally about to say, Mac, for such a senior team with so many veterans and seasoned professionals, it almost feels like the air has been sucked out of this Macarthur team, and they need some leaders to just really get themselves amped up a little bit here.
Yeah, and you can hear the crowd getting a little frustrated as well. But got to give it to this Perth Glory team. We talk about them being terriers and closing people down. Well, there's Diabru again. They have been very good defensively.
Caceres, body language says it all, directing traffic, gesticulating, but ultimately having to leave the ball with his back line. And Rose coughs up possession. Despotovsky, a quick look over the shoulder. Bratton's on a yellow, so can't go too full-blooded in the challenge. Here comes Shamoon. Glory in behind. The cutback is intercepted, and Rose crucial at stopping that Glory attack. Can Macarthur break its speed in the opposite direction? Grosjean, neat little sidestep. Able to lose Despotovsky, but look at Diabru and Freeney. They were chasing after him with real ferocity. And almost the perceived pressure caused him to cough up the pass.
Well, there's a real energy about their defence. Every time a Macarthur player gets the ball in a relatively dangerous area, there's generally at least 2 Perth Glory players coming at speed.
Here's Freeney, Kaltak. And a long ball, which will be retrieved by Curto. Don't forget, 22 days now until the AFC Women's Asian Cup. And Glory fans will well know that it starts in Perth, at the Perth Stadium, 1st of March. Get your tickets, and you can watch it all on Paramount Plus. Walter Scott. Grosjean all ran himself into the challenge of Lawrence and then still able to retrieve the ball and keep it at Macarthur feet. Vickery with it all to do. Takes on Sutton, tries to find Duke. Lent into the header. Kaltak more emphatically. Rose shins it. And Pennington, the goal scorer, comes up with the ball. Despotovsky caught in possession. Bratton sidestep. Finds Caceres. Can Caceres shoot here? Yes, he can. And Sutton able to see it all the way.
Well, it's the first shot on target. It's taken over 40 minutes. Caceres under heavy pressure. And who's there to get the partial block on, but Brian Kaltak.
And Sam Sutton spinning ball against the line, did not keep it in. Assistant referee over on the outer side, Andrew Lindsay, seeing that one down the line. And as you said, Macca, first shot on target for Macarthur to Perth's 4. Late in this first half. Uskok, diagonal ball, and just a little skinny with the pass. A bit difficult for the winger Vickery to make ground off the right flank there, and held on to by Sutton. And now Kaltak, Suleimani, Despotovsky, and Shamoon. Suleimani, down the right he goes. Just holds up the ball. Macarthur players backtracking. Despotovsky, Suleimani. Now Shamoon tries to outfox Walter Scott. Can't do so without the line looming large. It's a goal kick. So is it personnel or is it attitude? Because looking at the Macarthur bench, they've got Ollie Randazzo and Dean Bosniak, two much younger central midfielders, Chris Economides and an alternative winger, Harry Sawyer, an alternative centre forward. But I mean, is it really more about laying down the law to the starting 11 that they're the ones charged with turning it around rather than looking at the bench?
Well, I think that's your initial plan, is to try and kickstart them at half-time with a chat. But it's just the energy of Perth Glory. They seem to be offering a lot more when it comes to defending especially.
Duke attempting to turn provider. Kaltak blocked the cross, and then the header sliced. Despotovsky only as far as Rose. Scott in a little bit of space. And look at Diabru. He just wraps up Caceres, and then Caceres can't get him in the other direction. Referee was signalling advantage, and now the whistle does come. And Giovanni Diabru did get a little tag on the ankle there.
Yeah, I think his ankle got swiped out. But look at this, battling with Caceres, experience, but look, wins and then drives forward. Not really anything with him, and you see just there, Rose just slides the ankles out from underneath him. He's having a fantastic game, Diabru, along with many of his teammates.
It's 350 minutes of action and only his 4th start. And there he gets the pat on the back there from Caceres, 294 games of experience. Extreme contrast at opposite ends of their careers, and well, he's just young and hungry, and he's making a statement. Sutton almost at halfway to take this free kick, and Despotovsky will head it out. So how many minutes at the end of the first half for Macarthur to try and change the tone of that halftime team talk? Bratton, Caceres. He's got wide options on the left. Uses Grosjean now. Shime Grosjean as we tick into 1 additional minute at the end of the first half. Caceres. Grosjean. To spot up the late run of Talbot. He cuts it back for Bratton. And Talbot Veers onto his left here and headed away by Shamoon. Suleimani's a lone hand. Engages Scott, but Wiscock is there to help out. Half of stoppage time expired. With a shout there from the bench. 30 seconds come on. Macarthur want one more forward 4-8. Drajan. Got to execute here. This pass all important. He goes sideways to De Silva. De Silva sideways to Talbot, and Talbot blocked away. And that will do it for half-time. Perth maintain the clean sheet to the break, and Philip Curto may well puff the lips, because it's Nicholas Pennington's shot off the gloves of the goalkeeper that found a way through and has Perth on track to close the gap to the top six. Luke Bratton picked up the only card of the half, and you see him still in a dialogue with Ali Reza Fagani as the first half comes to a close. It's going to be a big halftime team talk for Mile Stajovski and Macarthur, because they trail the Perth Glory by 1-0 at halftime.
Caught recruiting cross, thinks about the long shot and she finds it!
When you unite together for that one goal in the 90 minutes, it's something special.
That is special! Huge moment for the Matildas.
The only place to see the Combank Matildas and every game of the AFC Asian Cup is on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back to Campbelltown Stadium. We're at halftime of this Isuzu UTE A-League men's fixture. Perth, 1 goal in front, and they are making a halftime substitution. Last weekend's hero, 2-goal Jaden Kaczarski is coming on, and Aryan Suleimani, who started the game at centre forward, is coming off. Chris Konomidis, who scored away in Adelaide for Macarthur last week, has also been summoned, and he replaces Shime Grosjean. So, like for like, winger for winger. And Konomidis is going over to the left side where Grosjean played in the first half, and Luke Vickery is keeping his spot over on the right side of attack. So can Macarthur, the home side, launch a comeback? Will they look different in this second half? Philip Curto has to wipe the slate clean from how the first and only goal of the night was conceded. And for the Glory, are they about to make it consecutive wins at Campbelltown Stadium? Back underway in the second game of round 16 in the Isuzu UTE A-League men's. And Callum Talbot straight from kickoff, playing the ball to Mitchell Duke. Luke Vickery able to lead Sam Sutton to the ball, and Caltac, oh, it's set up for Rose, and it bowled him over. What a start to the second half that could have been.
Well, it's a great opportunity. What a start. first 20 seconds of the second half, and Luke Vickery gets him behind and puts the ball across, and Liam Rose just couldn't quite get the feet organised.
After the missed interception, you'd probably call it that from Caltech. He wasn't able to adjust with barely a split second to do so. Some players just have those striker's instincts, as we highlighted in the first half. Liam Rose does not. Not a judgment, just a reflection on his one goal in so far, 138 A-League games. Diabru and Perth, they feel the need to switch back on. What do you make of the 2 half-time substitutions?
Well, I think Milej Sturjovski, he would have wanted to shake things up a little bit. Konomidis got himself a goal last week, running high. Shimiga Razan started with a couple of opportunities in the first half and then just really faded out of the game, I would say. He put a couple of good early crosses in, and then we didn't really see too much.
Crunching challenge from Pennington. Leaves Vickery on the deck. In the meantime, Talbot makes the interception. Bratton, the only player in the game with a yellow card to his name. And good centre forward play from Duke. He rolls off Wooden and leaves the ball with Talbot. Talbot blazes across, and that's going to run away on the opposite side from Economidis.
Well, here's that opportunity earlier. Vickery, good strength to keep the defender off, and Liam Rose, he just couldn't quite sort his feet out. And you're right, that falls to a striker in that area, and he's probably just tucking it away.
Still encouraging signs for the home side as they pursue an equaliser. Talbot trying to get this cross on the money. That one's out for a goal kick too. And it's welcome back at the start of the second half to Kat Haddad down at ground level. Kat.
Hello. Yeah, we've got a half-time report for Milej Sturjovski's Macarthur Bulls. Obviously a frustrating goal for them. To see that one come through at home as well, his messaging to the boys was to play it forward and to be brave, to be braver, which I think is interesting messaging. Is that what you both would have said heading into this second half?
Yeah, of course. They may have had all the stats in their favour apart from the shots on target and the scoreboard, but really didn't do anything in the front third. Thought Mitch Duke was isolated quite often, and balls were just thrown up to him to say, well, you try and do something. And there's no one really around him. That creativity needs to be a little bit more in plain view.
Here's Shamoon. Ball comes to a standstill. Now Kacharski, Diabru. And that would have been quite the way to make it 2 for the Glory, but the shot goes high and wide.
Well, Kacharski getting involved. Adel Shamoon's been good as well. Jaden Kacharski, I'm sure Adam Griffiths wants to get as many minutes into him as possible, get him back up to speed. Obviously, off the back of 2 wonderful goals last week, he needs to build him up to be a contender to start matches.
Diabru with that shot there. Not a total stranger to a goal. Winter last season, 2 goals in 17 NPL WA games for the Glory Academy. So he's also scored for the Australia under-17s in his representative honours.
Well, the crossing, apart from that one from Vickery in the opening seconds, has been pretty poor from this right-hand side from Macarthur.
Perhaps that is why they are looking for a change of angle here. Uscock favouring a switch to the left. Scott. Off the head of Shamoon. Duke going to work, but able to win a throw-in.
Come across.
Economidis, the half-time sub, trying to get something going. Ball popped into the area. Catching practice for Matt Sutton. And again, it's Liam Rose who was the most advanced player there, pursuing the ball into the penalty box. Sam Sutton looked up at a completely closed midfield. No one presenting for the ball. Lucks of fortune here from Pennington, though. Now Wooden, Sutton. This time, Freeney makes an offering and receives the pass. Caltac has to be careful. Get better of the on-rushing Rose. Diabru, Lawrence. He's happy to reset with Freeney. Switching to Sutton. Pennington, and now Sutton. Early ball to the back post, and 2 for the Glory, but the flag's up. The flag is up against Sep Despotovski, and he runs over and argues his case to Andrew Lindsay. It stays 1-0 for now.
Well, it was a wonderful ball in, wasn't it? Sam Sutton with the little 1-2 on the near side.
I think this first one is...
First time, look at it. I tell you what, it's going to be close, but I think he has just strayed into an offside position. But that is a wonderful ball. We talk about the delivery from Macarthur down this right-hand side. Well, there's an example of how you put the ball in.
Despotovski hoping to double his career tally. His only goal came against the Western Sydney Wanderers back on the 5th of December. And on that first looking, it did appear as though the assistant referee's got this one spot on. And VAR agrees.
Switch on, switch on.
Glory's most promising attacking foray of the half. Kaczynski just falling off balance. De Silva back to his goalkeeper, Curto. And that is a dart out for a throw in. Despotovski tried to open up the pitch. Economidis wouldn't let him escape. It's volleying, almost like a game of sepak takraw, the way they were going after it in the air, and it just wouldn't come down. And now back on the grass. Talbot. Duke trying to make ground, and, well, a lot of effort, but not much reward.
Yeah. Well, you pointed out Liam Rose has been in the box a couple of times in this first half. Well, he was trying to get close to Mitchell Duke there, but just nowhere near. It's been the story of the night. Mitchell Duke, it's not without the endeavour. He doesn't have much support around him. He's up against Brian Caltac and Scott Wootton, who aren't shrinking violets either.
Bratton from deep in midfield. Nodding on here is Economidis. And over the head of Duke and held on to by Sutton. I suppose the inevitable follow-up question is, rather than a central player trying to play off Duke, here's the offside before. Very tight call after the lines were drawn. But no goal was the decision. Just stay with this phase of play from the Glory here. Kaczynski around the corner and out. Glory want to take it quickly. They're not going to. But instead of a central player being the one trying to play off Duke, is it a case of maybe asking one of the wingers rather than hugging the touchline to come in and play a lot more narrow, so they're the one feeding off Duke?
Yeah, that's definitely an option. At the moment, they're both staying really wide. Liam Rose, I would say, is not the most natural attacking midfield. He's more of a holder midfield too, so maybe a little bit out of his usual comfort zone to be trying to get up higher, but that is definitely an option, Teo, to get a winger to come or even make the run in behind Duke as he's going up for the ball, but they're not close enough.
Another hard-won Duke header, and he's going to try to win his own ball at ground level here, and a neat little sidestep to go with it, and a nutmeg. Mitch Duke opening up the bag of tricks. Is that the moment that turns it for Macarthur? Scott, dropped it on the goal line, but in the end, Matt Sutton saw it all the way.
Well, that sums up the crossing. Mitch Duke, we're talking about him being isolated. Well, he says, well, I'm going to go and get the ball and help myself to build something. Makes the run into the box, and that's the story of the night from crosses for Macarthur, particularly in his second half.
Come on! Fucking middle!
Sam Sutton going through it here, not happy with how he was left stuck in a 1-on-2. I think Tommy and Eric on the couch at halftime were maybe right to flag that as long as this game drifts at 1-0, but Macarthur have all the underlying numbers, the great steal could be on at some point of the game.
Well, definitely. We talk about how much energy Perth players have been expelling in their defensive duties without the ball. And you think about the amount of minutes that the Abreu has been playing, it's going to have its toll. He's going to get tired. So then that's when Adam Griffiths has to start thinking about who can he go to on the bench. Fresh legs to continue the same intensity.
Can you smash someone after the back like that?
Well, here's Diabru on the end of a Rose reducer. That's how it feels coming the other way, but he's back on his feet quickly. Glory have recalled Callum Timmins to the squad tonight. He sits on the bench as an alternative defensive-minded midfielder. It's Caltag with a powerful header. Shamoon trying to pick the pocket of Caceres. He rolls into trouble, so back to Freeney. He darts out to the right, trying to set Kaczarski away. Not to be. Uskok. Walter Scott played into space, which has been closed down by Freeney effectively enough. Economidis on the wing. Scott makes a run. Economidis doubling back. Uskok. De Silva. See Talbot hugging the line here. Vickery a little narrower. Duke is running towards the ball there, so Macarthur reset, switch flanks. Scott over the head of Duke and onto the head of Sutton. Lawrence ran into a 1-on-2. Bratton prevails. Rose. Scott, second cross in less than a minute. This one blocked away. Kaczarski defending from the front. As we approach the hour mark, Economidis ran down to the line and now hangs it up over the head of Vickery. Doubles back towards the line. He's going to keep it in here. Talbot. And at the near post, Macarthur get the equaliser. And who else but Mitch Duke? Stooping to the header. And the World Cup hopeful has his second goal in just 4 games since returning to the A-League. Level just before the hour mark.
Well, that's what they brought him in for. He's always a danger. On the Harvey Norman replay, Vickery does well to keep the ball in. And Talbot, on this occasion, puts a ball across the 6-yard, and it's a stooping header. He does well, and that's what he's known for, Mitch Duke. Coming to that front post, guides it in. Sutton will be a little bit disappointed he gets beaten there. Maybe caught a little bit by surprise. It came quickly. That's a good header, and you can see there, no celebrations, gets the ball, brings it back and says, come on, let's go.
And Mitch Duke, you see his career numbers there. It is the 5th career goal he's scored against the Glory. Perth Glory are going to respond with a triple change here, so we'll talk through this first. Lockie Wales comes on for Seb Despotovsky. Trent Ostler is also into the action. Mitch Duke takes his leave. He's off for Harry Sawyer. And Liam Rose is going to come off here for Dean Bosniak. That's all activity over on the sideline. So, fresh legs in midfield and a new proposition up top. And the Glory made changes of their own with Ostler and also Wales entering the game. But as Duke takes his leave, his 5th career goal against the Glory, it's his now most prolific A-League opponent in a 3-way tie with Adelaide and Melbourne City.
And I can tell you, he's probably under his breath, absolutely filthy that he's come off after scoring a goal.
I mean, would you not give him another 5 minutes while the adrenaline's pumping?
I have to say, I would have kept him on. Once you score a goal, you perk up, got the energy, and maybe that's why.
Oh dear.
A little bit of ice there, looked like on the groin. Maybe he's just nursing something that they thought isn't worth risking.
So Glory, having led at half-time, now with Kucharski, is going to shoot, and off the ankles of Uskok. Massive deflection out for a throw-in.
Well, maybe that goal might open the game up a bit too. It's been very cat and mouse. Just the second shot on target for Macarthur.
Wales having come on for Pennington. So both goal scorers have been subbed out. And this is Lockie Wales' first minutes in the A-League since the 23rd of November, which was a win away at Newcastle. Nicholas Pennington scored that day as well. So Lockie Wales back after a considerable time out of the mix. But he's got a good chunk of minutes here to reacquaint himself. Of course, he is very experienced now, 184 appearances, but it's only his 6th of this particular campaign. So we have another look at the foul here. Ostler, his first involvement in the match is to knock over Vickery. And Vickery has been left on his own on the wing. He takes on Ostler here. Vickery. And goal kick is the end result. Well defended by Ostler. And good eagle-eyed refereeing as well. Goes to Silva. The action areas in the game so far. Still a midfield tussle primarily. Scott. Now Macarthur about to take over though, having found the equaliser in front of their home fans. Vickery. It's being played more and more down this right channel. A sweeping cross. Goalkeeper was left on his goal line, but ultimately no one attacking the ball in time.
Well, you could hear the Macarthur bench when Vickery picked up that ball. They just said, go, you're one-on-one, get forward. And duly obliged, and Sawyer says, I don't mind that. That's what I want. Get it in early before the defence is set.
Bratton, Sawyer. Caceres always been bowled over by his own teammate, but he bounces back up. Vickery. Bratton. And Bosniak. And Macarthur getting the decision. It's been a pretty well-behaved game. Only 9 fouls total to this point of the night. Adam Griffiths certainly recognising that there's been a swing in the momentum of the game. Macarthur have still got their tails up after the equaliser. Bratton, a flat drive, Uskok, the target. Caltac was right there with him. And they break even in the air. The ball falls to Talbot. And a big deflection takes it out for a corner kick. Macarthur well in front on the corner count. Caceres. Harry Sawyer, look at the height advantage he's got. Caceres' corner, and the header skims off Woodcock, out for a goal kick.
It's a decent ball, but lots of bodies going for that. Under pressure, Tommy Woodcock gets his head to it, but just can't get it on target. I have to give a big shout out of congratulations to him as well, to him and his family. Their 5th child was welcomed to the family just a couple of weeks ago. So congratulations to the Woodcocks. It's going to be a busy household.
So they've got a 5-a-side team already, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he told me they wanted to maybe go to a 7-a-side, so he's not done yet.
Sawyer using his strength to try and open a passage for Vickery, but it was a tentative first touch and ultimately runs long. Lawrence ran under the ball. De Silva, Freeney. It's allowed to bounce. Diabru was leaning in as Caceres led with the feet. Diabru, Lawrence. Kucharski calls for the pass, but it's heading left instead. Ostler jags in, blocked away by Talbot. Trent Ostler, who has happy memories against Macarthur. He scored his first career goal against them. Trying to replicate something there, but we have a Perth player down at the edge of the box. And it is their key man, Tom Lawrence, who's just taken a seat here, so this will be a concern for the Glory. They might be hoping this is just running repairs rather than something which could cause him to leave the game.
Well, he's been in plenty of battles today. It's been a real tussle to try and get any kind of foot on the ball, any control of the ball.
How is he looking? Tactical briefing is coming for Stefan Kolikovski. Lawrence, who did miss the start of the season, and yeah, the twirling finger and the physio mouthing off means that the Welsh talisman of this Glory team, his night is over with just over 20 minutes to play. Let's also watch this space into the future for the Glory here as well, because he has been such an important part of launching them up the table. Kolikovski, the assist for Jaden Kucharski's match winner last weekend. He's into the game. And Lawrence will be a going concern out of this one for Perth. Here is Kucharski. Switching over to the right, here's Lockie Wales, and he just got the ball stuck to his feet at the key moment. And Walter Scott was able to defend the situation. It looked promising though. Wales with half a yard here. Ostler flags up, and the central referee sees it now, and indeed does blow the whistle.
There you see, just drifting into an offside position in the central area. Might have been an occasion where Macarthur had the ball going forward. They could have just allowed them to play on, but back we come.
Buskok finds Caceres. Now Konomitis looks up at two defenders. Scott to Bosniak at the edge of the box. And he holds off Diabru. Talbot, little sidestep, and in! Is that at last Callum Talbot's first A-League goal? It took a big deflection off the head of the defender. But for now, it is Callum Talbot. 108 games, 1 goal, and a 2-1 lead for Macarthur.
Well, surely you're not taking that away from him. On the Harvey Norman replay, he's already got himself an assist. This time, he decides he wants to come on the inside onto his left foot. Little step over. And there's a slight touch from Wharton that takes it away from Sutton. But this is all Callum Talbot. That's heading towards goal. They won't take that away from him. And Macarthur have turned this game around. There you see it. It's heading into that direction anyway. And the touch just takes it away from Sutton at full stretch. And they've had control of this match in regards to nearly all of the statistics. Well, now they have it on the scoreboard as well.
And it's right here at Campbelltown Stadium that two extensive droughts, Liam Rose and now Callum Talbot, have scored their first A-League goals. And Adam DePuzzo, 150 games, no goals, remains at the top of the mountain for games played in the Isuzu UTE A-League men's without scoring. Delight for Talbot, and Perth, they now have to chase the game. Shamoon, foul here in the build-up on Wales. Gee, there have been some razor-thin calls, tight offside calls, correct calls though, and Perth, we did flag. Macarthur had some of the underlying numbers in their favour, and they have turned it into a 2-1 lead. Can they answer immediately from the set piece? Oh, it's all Macarthur at the fall of the ball. De Silva's header retrieved by Freeney. Matt Sutton over the head of Kucharski. Scott heads it down. Konomitis telegraphed the switch of flanks, and Ostler comes in to intercept. De Glory have enough numbers breaking forward for him. Slices the attempt to drive it forward. Lucky Wales was breaking the wrong way. How does the Macarthur mindset shift? Now that they have the lead, they seem to be eagerly flowing forward. Bosniak's cross. Here's Talbot. Bratton. And Talbot. The cross, teasing. Nearly for Economitis. Scott. The Bulls have got that pep in their step. Buskok. Scott from a standing start. Bosniak. Gets the return pass. Dean Bosniak. Caceres lifts it in. Sawyer challenging. And as the ball runs long, down to Cat Haddad. Cat, it's a very different game now.
My oh my, the amount of momentum going on in this second half is incredible, and there are some injuries to note as well. We saw Tom Lawrence come off just earlier. He did take a seat immediately. They took off his socks. He had some strapping already on his ankle, and so they've added some ice to that. So hopefully he's not severely injured himself or done anything bad there, but we will keep an eye on it. Mitch Duke did also make his way into the tunnel. He came back to celebrate with the boys when Callum Talbot got his goal, but it did appear that he had some discomfort to his groin. Hopefully nothing too severe there as well.
Thanks, Kat. Yep. I'll look at the casualty ward on both benches. Two pretty important players as well. Sam Sutton. Glory produced the late show last week. They're going to have to rely on it again tonight. For Macarthur, are now up to 27 points, second only on goal difference as things currently stand. Freeney to Wooden. Kaczarski. Asking a lot of Shamoon. Scott had the set and wins his team a throw.
Well, there is a positive for Perth Glory, and that positive is that Macarthur are one of the teams who concede more goals than anyone else in the final 15 minutes, which was where we've just entered. We saw what Kaczarski did last week. They need a little bit more of that brilliance this week if they're going to get something out of this game.
It feels like the tempo of the game has really ramped up. Macarthur have just gradually built and all of a sudden they are pinging the ball around at a completely different speed to how it looked in the first half.
Yeah, they certainly are. That goal in the first half of Perth really subdued the crowd as well. You can hear them getting back involved.
There's a loose pass here. Vickery's going to shark it. And the crowd re-engage once again. Vickery. It's a really forcefully driven cross. Equalizes! And the follow-up is saved away. Sutton foils Sawyer. And only the width of the post denied Equalizes a special goal of his own.
Well, Equalizes reacts quick as he's strong there, and it's a great strike. And then Sawyer just flings out the left foot. Sutton with the save. And probably for the first 45 minimum, maybe 60 minutes, it was Perth who were sharper and more reactive. Well, that's completely changed. The tails are up, Macarthur.
Bosniak, Talbot, drops it in the box, off the head initially of Freeney. Tiambrew volleys away. Freeney holds his ground well. Macarthur, midfield and defence, all getting behind the ball. Trying to organise here. Shamoon. That's why they organised. Bratton in the right spot, blocks the passing channel. Equalizes foiled by the woodwork just a moment ago. And hugging the line a little too tight to get the better of Shamoon.
Well, here's another look. He's strong chest, and that's a great strike. And then Sutton with a save that he should make. And that's how close it was for the game potentially being out of sight.
Vickery in a more central position here. Goes left. Caceres blocked away. Talbot, Caceres, Bosniak. And the build-up continues. Bratton. Caceres. Bosniak to Bratton again. Sawyer waiting with Caltac right on his shoulder, and the cross never came in. Macarthur switch flanks instead. Uskok. Scott, underlapping run. Bosniak pops up on the left side of the box now. And the cross is under hit. Sawyer caught behind as Wooten heads away. Callum Talbot. Maybe just to try and draw the Perth Glory defence up. Back to the goalkeeper it goes. Long ball, Sawyer, flick header. Equalizes made it work, where so many of those in the first half were Mitch Duke toiling without any support. Glory chasing shadows at the moment. Can they win the ball back? De Silva. Bratton. He's got Talbot in space over on the right. Caceres has been able to lose his shadow in Diabru. Talbot. Caceres again. Scott. Economidis. Darts to the byline. Again, happy to go back. Bosniak recycles the ball. Braddon looking for Sawyer. Oh, just wide. About a width of the ball away. It was a long, patient build-up, and it ended on the head of Harry Sawyer.
Well, nice ball from Luke Braddon. Just curls it in there and asking the big man to just go and attack it. Good battle with Wooten and got the better of him, but couldn't quite guide it in. Defenders must be thinking when Mitch Duke goes off, oh, thank goodness for that, and then big Harry Sawyer comes on.
Mitch Duke watching from the sidelines, having been subbed off immediately after scoring Macarthur's equaliser, and how that has changed the tone of this game. Walter Scott took a brief seat there, but was able to get up without the need for the trainer. Remaining outfield players on the bench for Glory: Callum Timmins, Zach Lizalaiski. They've pretty much brought on all the attacking options they had in reserve tonight. Macarthur have still got Matthew Yerman, Ollie Randazzo and Will Mackay, all three more defensive-minded. Maybe we will see one or more of those players soon. Here's how the ladder looks at the moment. Newcastle, with their big goal difference, able to hold top spot with 2 games in hand on Macarthur. Now leaping into outright second as things stand, and of course the victory winning away to Wellington earlier. They're back in the top 6 as well.
Well, so tight, isn't it? We say it every week, but it doesn't seem to be getting any clearer who's going to be near the top end or the bottom end.
Kolikovsky trying to turn, just hangs the ball out. Talbot back to Wooscock. Vickery and Caceres, a darting run. Caceres holds off Wales, hits the line, hangs it up. Economidis, and the ball bent out. It did appear to be right up against the line.
To judge to have just gone out and bent back. But at the moment, you can only see one team really, can't you? Getting another. That's Macarthur. I can't remember the last time Perth really got down the other end.
Well, Bratton stays down after contact from Wales, and the free kick does go his way. How much of it do you think has been by design to wait until later in the game when Perth maybe were starting to fatigue, and how much of it has just been the organic evolution of the game?
Well, I don't think there's too much rope-a-dope going on out there with Macarthur. I think that the energy that Perth were showing in defence was just too good in the first 45. And we did mention that, can you keep that intensity for the 90 minutes, particularly the players who haven't had as many minutes. And I think Macarthur started to find their groove as well. Callum Talbot put in quite a few poor crosses, and all of a sudden he puts one in decent. Mitch Duke puts one away, then he finds the space on the inside and gets himself a goal, and all of a sudden they're sitting pretty.
And the clock is rapidly becoming their friend. Diabru, is that a pre-cramp that he's running off there? Just a little half stretch as he got back up. Bit of consternation between Talbot and the Glory bench. Callum Timmins had the bib off and then went and put it back on. Paramount Plus player index. Callum Talbot has shot to the top, and he's well clear. Goal and an assist will do that. Mitch Duke in second. And Giovanni Diabru on the ball here is the best of Glory's players. Eric Partaloo, Tommy Orr and Scott McKinnon will check back in on the Paramount Plus Player Index as part of the post-game show. Wooden. Bided his time, but only picked out De Silva with the pass. Perth get a second chance.
Well, it's just too stagnant. Kaltak and Wooden looking for some movement. All standing still.
Don't forget the action continues through the A-League weekend. Western Sydney Wanderers against Melbourne City tomorrow from 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. And indeed, Callum Timmins was being readied, and Giovanni Diabru, as we have another look here at the foul on Charbel Shamoun. So Diabru there on the scene. His last involvement in the game. Made it to the 87th minute. He takes his leave. On comes Timmins. And straight away on the end of the free kick. And a sweeping ball over to the left. Maybe the burst of energy Glory need. Sutton a bending cross. They've got themselves a set piece. So corner kick coming up. Will Mackay isn't far away from Macarthur, but they're not going to take the sub while defending this corner kick. Sam Sutton out swinging corner, and the towering Sawyer gets the first header. Miss hit by Freeney, Vickery, and ultimately saw no teammates, so hits the line instead.
They copped an earful from Tommy Uscock as well, who just said, how about you put it in front down the field.
Matt Sutton, high ball. Talbot, his goal the winner as things stand. Bratton, oh, coughs up possession here. Ostler, Bratton has a nibble. And ultimately the ball ends up at his feet. Vickery, and now the counter is on. Still Vickery, sidestep, and the bending shot hits the post. Economidis, and he's foiled by Shamoun. And again, the left-hand post foils Macarthur.
Well, almost a carbon copy of the earlier one. Comes inside Vickery. Sutton at full stretch, and just hear that crack against the post.
Well, it's his last involvement in the game. Vickery comes off. Will Mackay comes on with 90 seconds of regulation to go. And the 19-year-old defender is on to help lock this game down. Macarthur have had a glut of chances to make it 3-1 and make the points safe, and Perth don't have the quality to create one more big chance at the end of the night. Time very much their enemy. Curto. Hit us off the chest. Caceres. Down the line. Caceres again. And that is textbook Caceres. So hard to take the ball off. He beat 3 opponents. And now Macarthur, flow forward. Bosniak cuts inside and saved by Sutton.
Well, Anthony Caceres, we've seen it for so many years. Doing it many, many moons ago at Central Coast Mariners.
You said it on Total A-Leagues this week, Mac.
Yeah.
The hardest player to take the ball off.
Yeah, you could lock him in an old phone booth and you wouldn't get it off him.
As the game ticks towards stoppage. Curro! Oh, goodness! And now the net's open for Kolakovsky! Late drama! Perth are level 2-2! As we tick into 4 minutes of additional time, Glory a level, and what on earth happened to the Macarthur defence?
Well, Philip Curto won't want to see this one again. Harvey Norman replay, all good there. It's just almost a hopeful ball over the top. Oh, he just comes out, he misses the ball. If they don't score, it's going to be a penalty anyway. Kolakovsky picks it up, calm and composed as you like, just takes it inside and puts it away. And out of nothing, Perth Glory get one back.
Of course, Glory will take the goal. Is Curto lucky that arm to the head of Kickoff isn't getting a more detailed look?
Well, there's no doubt it would have been a penalty had they not scored. I think he may have just got the benefit of the doubt of just a mistimed attempt at playing the ball. There wasn't any malice in the player, but it has been a night where he hasn't had too much to do, really. As we see Kucharski, looks like he's got a bloody nose from the encounter, but look, Curto can put that down to 2 goals, hand it over. We heard Carlo Italiano last week saying that they'd given away a few Christmas presents. Well, Perth Glory are on the receiving end tonight.
VAR has ticked everything off. Goal stands. Curto stands pat. Can Macarthur win it a third time? Well, they'll start with the free kick. It's Kolikovski's first goal in a year. In fact, in 2 years. February 2024, the last time he found the back of the net. So it'll mean the world to him. His 10th career A-League goal.
And just think about the 2 opportunities. Macarthur striking both posts in this second half to give them a bit of breathing space.
It's their one last hurrah for the home side. Bratton's free kick. Headed down by the latest arrival in Timmins. Talbot roosts it high. Sawyer, no lost causes with him in the air. But the end result is a goal kick. Well, he got there, but ultimately getting there didn't come with the ability to guide the header. Liam Rose has been subbed out.
You see Adam Griffiths there jumping at the same time of the players, trying to win every moment for his team.
Last minute of the original 4. There might be a little bit more tacked on because Glory scored right as the game ticked into stoppage time. And then there was a bit of aftermath. Timmins, nothing subtle about the tackle there on Bratton. He leaves the scene with a stern word and nothing more from the referee. De Silva. And Kolikovski blocks the ball out for a throw. Talbot signals that he's going for the long throw. Big step onto the pitch as well. However, Glory clear their lines. De Silva through Kucharski. Timmins fouls Bratton. And it's a free kick in the middle of the pitch.
Well, that Perth goal has dropped Macarthur back down to 4th on the table, but there's still precious seconds left to salvage the 3 points.
Second ball.
Matt Sutton setting his wall. He wants 3. Players see the nose well and truly plugged for Jaden Kucharski. Getting clattered by Philip Curto. Does Bratton go direct? Does he look for a teammate? We've ticked almost a minute beyond the original 4. Is there one last twist in the tail? Bratton off the long run-up. The wall does its job. Talbot wheels around. Can't get it past Ostler. And that is full time. Macarthur have to settle for a point, and Perth Glory smash and grab at the end of the night. Stefan Kolikovski able to net the equaliser, and Philip Curto can only contemplate what might have been. Macarthur for quite a while in the second half. We're moving into outright second on the Isuzu UTE A-League table. Instead, they have to settle for a draw. And for the Glory, well, They get out of jail, a night where they had the better of the first half at times and then looked like they were getting overrun, only for the subs to ultimately make an impact. Kaczarski and Kolikovsky. It was a bizarre-looking goal, but Glory will take the point. Macarthur FC 2, Perth Glory 2 at the end of the game. And so, on a night where Mitch Duke scored and then had to leave the game immediately, was icing a groin. There will be some concern there. Tom Lawrence, aggravation of maybe a pre-existing ankle problem as well. There will be plenty of aftermath. And among that aftermath is Kat Haddad, who has Luke Vickery.
Vickers, what a game. What a final moment for you guys. You fought hard for those 3 points. A draw in the end, but can you just try to explain those final moments to us?
Yeah, it was very tough.